I'm Edmund Tong from AutoSimply, and today I would give you an overview of the AutoSimply barcode product for Sage 300. First of all, with standalone regular Sage 300 implementation, the warehouse transactions are actually separate from warehouse operations. What that means is while the warehouse are receiving goods or shipping goods, the transactions are not actually entered in the system. So somebody in the back office needs to enter those transactions into this ERP system. And of course, this process is quite inefficient and error prone. And most often, there's a delay between goods being shipped out, for example, or received before the transaction is actually entered into the ERP system. With AutoSimply barcode, we try to bring warehouse transactions to the front line when and where they happen. So with this particular add-on, inside the warehouse, the users or warehouse staff can actually use handheld computers, run our app, and then initiate inventory transactions right inside the warehouse. So once they initiate the transaction, they can actually scan barcodes on the product packaging. For example, if they are doing shipment while they are picking goods from the racks, they can just scan the barcodes to record the transactions. And then once they are done, they can post the documents directly into Sage 300 real-time online. So of course, with this inside the back office, there's nothing else to do really. The transactions are always up to date. The main benefits of using this add-on, customers should be able to realize return on investments quickly, because after all, the more transactions created through this add-on, through the app, the more time and resources stay saved and they could do something else. And also more accurate inventory, because the inventory movements are actually updated real time now instead of there would be a delay. And then it would increase satisfaction of their customer as well due to the accuracy and efficiency of the warehouse operation. And for existing Sage 300 customers, it's also very quick to implement, because if they are already running Sage 300, it's a very simple add-on to add to the current system. So they could be implementing and having this up and running in probably days, very quick. So basically, this add-on, the app covers all the warehouse-related transactions in Sage 300, including in purchase order, goods receipt and return, in OE, shipments and return. In the IC module itself, we cover the stock transfer, internal usage, physical count, the IC receipt, shipment and return, as well as IC assembly and disassembly. Of course, the system works with AutoSimply manufacturing as well for the issuance of raw materials and finished goods receipt. It also supports the backflush as well as the Kanban operations. And then for the AutoSimply shop floor control, users can use the app to enter shop entries, basically clock the start time and end time of the shop operations. And then throughout all the documents, all the transactions, we support something called GS1 and also HIBC barcodes. These are international barcode standards, and I'll try to explain them afterwards. And then we fully support the serialized inventory and lot tracking module. So the items could be serialized or with lot numbers. And then we also integrate with the tracking module of OCID systems. If bin tracking is activated on a particular company, then the users using the app can also specify bin numbers as well. We also have various inquiry screens in the app. So in terms of handheld devices, we support Android handheld devices. This particular example on the screen is a handheld device called Zebra TC20. So it's a handheld device by Zebra. It has a built-in laser scanner, and these devices usually has a small keyboard as well. And they are mainly built for warehouse use, so very rugged and durable. Now, for lower cost option, actually, users can use regular Android phones and tablets as well. So with the app, they can use regular phones and then either scan barcodes using the camera on the phone or use Bluetooth barcode scanners that are available out there, not very expensive. Just pair the Bluetooth barcode scanner to the phone and they can use that to scan barcodes. Before we have the Android version in the past, we had a version for Windows CE and also Windows Mobile. Now, however, Windows CE's end of support was actually last year. So basically, Windows CE is not supported by Microsoft anymore. And relatively newer Windows Mobile operating system end of support would be next year. Basically, what we would recommend is like for any new customer or new devices they buy, they should be buying the Android devices instead of Windows CE or Windows Mobile. Now, we are still including the Windows CE or Windows Mobile installation file right now, but we might actually discontinue that later on after all the Windows CE and mobile supports are over. In the past, we also have, and even currently, we also have a Windows desktop version. This is basically the Windows CE version, but it can run on regular Windows desktop. So that means if the users don't need to move around, they can simply use, let's say, a laptop and then use a USB or Bluetooth scanner and then use the app to scan barcodes. For Sage 300, our current version, which is 2018, works with Sage 300 2014 to 2019, all the versions. So we have only one version that supports all the Sage versions. On the Sage 300 side, customers will need to purchase one extra LAN pack for the barcode software to connect to Sage 300, but they only need one regardless of the number of barcode users. And also the user would need to set up a web server to use with our app, and it needs to be a Windows Server 2012 or above with the Microsoft IIS as the web server. So just now I mentioned that the current version of barcode is 2018. We plan to, and then we did not release a 2019 version because the 2018 version actually works with Sage 300 2019. But we plan to skip one version, and then we are going to release barcode 2020 in a few weeks' time. So we are right now at the last testing stage of barcode 2020. So I would expect to have this available sometime in September this year. So what is new for barcode 2020? First, document printing. So we added document printing to the new version. So the user can actually print out the documents after posting each transaction. So if printing is set up and enabled, they can print out the documents right away after they post the transaction. We enhance the security control for every function. In the past or in the current version, the security authorization in barcode, some of the authorizations actually not too fine-grained. For example, if a user has the PO receipt authorization, that user will be able to access and do receipt for single PO, multiple POs, as well as receipt without PO. In the new version, we are going to break it down so that every single separate function, there's a separate authorization the user can give or take away. Partial invoice return with lot serial numbers. For this particular combination, for whatever reason, it was not supported in previous versions. So we added this in the new version. So users can do invoice return, partial, even with lot serial items now. And also we added PO receipt and OE shipment extra threshold so that you can specify a percentage for over receiving or over shipping. We also introduced a new feature called snapshots. So what are snapshots? For example, maybe I'm loading an order and trying to do a shipment. I scan some items, and then in between, I'm not ready to post the shipment yet, but I need to do some other things first. So what I can do is I can save a snapshot of what I've done so far, and then later on reload the snapshot to continue with the document. So, and also it would help in cases where somehow while I'm doing a particular processing a particular document, maybe I lost connectivity, and then, or maybe I accidentally, the handheld ran out of power. So later on, I can actually reload that particular snapshot and I can continue with the document. So this feature is available for PO receipt, OE shipment, and also manufacturing raw material issuance. Basically, these are the documents where the user would load an existing document and then work on it. So receipt would be based on a purchase order, etc. And then we will also release an iOS version. And then, so the iOS version would be available on the Apple App Store. And we are also going to release a new Windows desktop client. The current Windows desktop client is actually it's designed for running on Windows CE. And then the new Windows desktop client would work exactly the same way as the Android and the iOS apps. Without explaining too much, let me just show you the product and how it works inside the app. What you are seeing on screen right now is the app running on regular Android phone. So this is how it looks on the app. The menu I'm showing you includes the operations transactions, such as PO receipt, OE shipment, returns, and also some basic IC transactions like internal usage, stock count, transfer, and transfer receipt. So let's say I can do a simple PO receipt, and then I can choose a single PO receipt. Here I can put in the PO number. I can search or look up for a purchase order, but I can also scan. Let's say if I have a document, a PO printed out with the barcode of the PO number already on it, then I can simply just call up the camera and scan. So this is a particular PO, so I'll focus on the barcode, and this is PO 30. It loads the purchase order, and this screen shows all the items in this particular purchase order, and then I can start receiving goods by scanning barcodes on the goods. So let's say I scan the barcode of the first item, and then I can specify the receipt quantity. So let's say I received 2 of this particular item, and then scan the other one. And then let's say I receive 3 of this particular item. And of course, I can continue scanning. And then after I'm done scanning all the items, I simply click post and then confirm. So what happens at this point is the app would connect to the web server, and the web server program and the web service would actually call into Sage 300 and post the receipt online right away. So right now, document receipt 94 is posted. And then you can see from this screen, this is the one of those new features in BarCode 2020. If the printing is actually set up, I can actually click yes right now to print out the document. So right now I will click no, but just remember the receipt is receipt 94. So if I go into Sage 300 right now, go into PO receipt, probably the last one, receipt 94, you can see this is a receipt with item A11030, quantity 2, and then the other one is 3. Basically, the document is posted right away into 300, and there's nothing else to do in the back office. So very simple and efficient. So the next thing I want to show you, let's say I want to do a shipment. I need to do a shipment right now, a single SO shipment. This time, I will look up a particular sales order for a particular customer, black. And these are all the open orders for this particular customer. I'll choose the first one. And this is the sales order with all the items included in the order. And I can, again, scan barcodes. So let's say the first item, a very simple item, and then let's say I received, no, I'm going to ship 3. So now I want to show you the snapshot function. So I already scanned 3 of the first item. I'm not ready to post the shipment yet, but I need to do something else. So what I can do is I can just exit and then go do something else. And then after I've done that, I'm ready to continue with the picking. I can go back to the shipment, look up the same sales order, and then click next. The system detects that there's actually a previous snapshot, and it will ask if I want to actually restore the snapshot. If I click yes, it will restore the snapshot, and you can see that on the list, the first item, the picked quantity is 3. So basically, it remembers what I've done in the past, and I can continue with this particular ship. Now, I can scan another item, but this one is an item with lot numbers. Okay, so this is an item with lot number, and then I need to specify the ship quantity. Let's say I'm shipping 3 of this. And of course, I would need to provide the lot numbers of the 3 items. I can scan lot numbers. Let's say I scan this lot number. 2 of the items is this lot number. And I can scan another one. And this lot, I'm shipping just 1. Okay, so here are all the lot numbers that I specify. Quantities are correct. Okay. And then after I'm done, just like receipt, I can just click post to post the document, post the shipment. And then shipment 80 is now posted, and I can also print out the delivery note or the pick list. I'll click no. Let me go back to the main menu. I'm not going to show you all the other transactions because they pretty much work the same way. You either load up a document or initiate a document, scan items. After it's done, post the transaction, and then have the ability to print out the document right away. So these are the operation related transactions. So if I pull up the menu, I can go into the so-called IC extended section, and these are the IC transactions themselves, like receipt, shipment, return, assembly, disassembly, and lookup of manufacturing items. And there are also inquiry screens where I can look up stock information, lot serial information, as well as pending receipts and shipment. I can actually go use these functions to actually look up all the pending shipments that I need to do today, for example. You do not see the manufacturing and the shop floor modules on this menu because I'm logged into SAM Ltd, which does not have manufacturing. But if you are logged into a company with manufacturing activated and shop floor activated, you would see those sections on the app. Let me show you one more thing. If I go into Sage 300 and into the barcode setup, user master, and if I choose a particular user, this is how you set up a printing. So for each barcode user, you can assign a particular printer for this particular user, because like a user, maybe like a user A is in this warehouse, user B is actually in a different warehouse. So definitely they would want to actually print the documents to a different printer. And you can also specify the reports. So if you do not specify any special report here, the system would use the standard report in Sage 300, but you can also select customized reports here for this particular user. So this is how printing is set up. And then for user security, you can see on this screen, this lists out all the separate functions within the barcode app. So you can have fine-grained control of user security now. Just now I mentioned GS1 and HIBC barcodes. So what is GS1 barcode? The GS1 barcode is actually an international standard barcode. The special thing about it is it can encode multiple information in a single barcode. So it can include things like product number, lot number, serial number, expiry date, and quantity, all in a single barcode. So with our app, one single scan of the barcode would actually capture all the information. So if the customer is receiving goods or shipping goods with GS1 barcodes, they would definitely want to use this GS1 functionality so that it would actually allow very fast barcode scanning and picking up information all with a single scan. So this is an example of a GS1 barcode. So GS1 barcodes could be a linear barcode. So this one is a linear barcode, which is called GS1 128. But the same kind of information could be represented in 2D barcodes as well. GS1 data matrix and GS1 QR code. So these two 2D barcodes supported by this GS1 standard, either data matrix or QR code. But what you see on screen, all three barcodes actually contain exactly the same information in the barcode. This is a real GS1 barcode printed on product packaging. So I just want to give you an example and show you some packaging. They could include both a linear barcode as well as a GS1 data matrix barcode. So for this particular example, the barcode actually has 3 sections, you can see, and each section is identified by what they call the application identifiers. So the first section that starts with 01 is called the Global Trade Identification Number, which is basically the product ID. So every GS1 barcode needs to have a unique number assigned for that particular product. So to use a GS1 barcode or scan a GS1 barcode, you need to set up this particular number, the Global Trade Identification Number, as the manufacturer item number inside IC so that it would map to your internal item number in IC. And then the second section that starts with 1717 is the expiry date. So for this example, the expiry date is 30th of September 2019. And then the last section that starts with 10 is the lot number. So you can see that's very easy and efficient if the barcode scanning portion can pick up all these information in one go. And all the GS1 barcodes would have these brackets separating different sections for the barcode. So if you are meeting with a prospect and see that the goods they are receiving or shipping looks like this, you immediately know that they would need to have the GS1 functionality in order to scan these barcodes. Let me show you how it works. I'll just go into PO receipt, single PO receipt again. Just pick a PO. Now I'm going to scan GS1 barcode. The first one is just GS1 barcode with the product ID and quantity. And then you can see that it picks up the item number, which maps to my internal item number as A11030, and also picked up the quantity of 5. So basically, if I'm scanning this GS1 barcode, there's nothing really I need to do. And then the second GS1 barcode I'm going to scan is for a lot item and has the lot number, expiry date, as well as quantity. So here it knows that it's the calculator, the received quantity is 5. If I switch to the lot tab, you can see it picks up the lot number, quantity, and it also shows the expiry date, which already expired. So I need to update the barcode. But anyway, it picks up the expiry date from the barcode. So I can just click OK, post PO receipt, and then the receipt will get posted. So this is basically GS1 barcode. To the user, they don't really need to care or know much about GS1 as long as they use this app and they are just scanning GS1 barcodes, but it actually makes them the whole scanning process much more efficient. So this is pretty much what I want to show you. It's just a very quick overview of barcode. We definitely want you to try it out yourself so that you can experience the app and then be able to show it or demo it to prospects and customers. So To make it very easy for you to try, for all those who have Android devices, you can just go to Google Play, look for AutoSimply barcode, and install the app. And then without any configuration, actually, the app would automatically connect to cloud demo server we set up. So you can just download the app, install, and then log in as admin to SAM Ltd. And then you can start playing with the app, do some receipts, do some shipments, and then try to experience the app. You can also set up the add-on, the web server internally for testing. So once you have that part set up, it's very easy on the app. Just go into settings, change the server name and or IP address, point it to your own test server, and then the app would be talking to your internal test server. So it's very simple to try and test it out. So I do want every one of you, after this web session, go and download the app and then try it out. Okay, thank you very much.